Have you ever said something in a group and immediately regretted it? Replayed it in your head for hours, wondering if everyone secretly judged you? And then one day you realized you just don't do that anymore. Think back. There was a time when one raised eyebrow from a stranger could ruin your whole day. A time when you rehearsed texts 5 times before sending them. When silence in a room felt like everyone was thinking about you. If that sounds familiar, and if you've noticed that grip has quietly loosened, stay until the end, because by the time this video is over, you'll understand exactly why this shift happens and why it's one of the healthiest signs of growth a person can have. It never happens overnight. There's no single moment where you wake up and stop caring. It starts with one small thing you say no to, a plan, and instead of guilt, you feel relief. Then you wear something you actually like instead of something safe. You post something without checking it 5 times for how it'll be perceived, and then someone close to you says it out loud. You've changed. You don't seem to care what people think anymore. Think about who you used to be, the version of you that agreed with everyone, even when you didn't. The version that apologized for taking up space. That version stayed quiet in meetings, even with a better idea, laughed at jokes that weren't funny, changed opinions mid-sentence the moment someone frowned. From the outside, it looked like people-pleasing, like being agreeable. But underneath, something was quietly building, and eventually, it broke through. On the outside, people just see someone who stopped being so agreeable. But on the inside, a completely different process was happening. This person wasn't becoming careless, they were becoming discerning. They started asking a question most people never ask: whose opinion actually deserves this much power over me? And once you ask that question honestly, the answer is humbling. Most of the people whose judgment you feared barely think about you at all. Psychologists call this the spotlight effect, the belief that people notice and judge us far more than they actually do. In reality, everyone is too busy starring in their own story to spend much time critiquing yours. Once that illusion cracks, something interesting happens. The energy you used to spend managing everyone else's perception of you gets redirected. Instead of managing image, you start building actual skill. Instead of rehearsing how to sound smart, you start actually getting smarter. Because you're no longer performing, you're improving. This is also why people who stop caring what others think often become more honest, not ruder, just more direct. They stop filtering every sentence through, "Will this be liked?" This is also where boundaries start appearing, often for the first time, not because the person suddenly got cold, but because they finally believe their comfort matters as much as everyone else's. Naturally, not everyone responds well to this. Some people liked the version of you that always said yes. Some people benefited from you caring so much about their opinion. So when this shift happens, you might lose a few people, and that can feel scary at first. But here's the quiet truth. The relationships that only worked because you shrank yourself were never really stable to begin with. And the people who do stay, something shifts there too. The relationship gets more honest, because now they're connecting with who you actually are not. The edited people-pleasing version. Here's where it often gets misread. People on the outside assume this shift means arrogance. They think they're better now. They don't care about anyone but themselves. But that's rarely the truth. Not caring what people think isn't the same as not caring about people. It just means your self-worth stopped depending on their approval. If you're wondering whether this applies to you, here are some signs. You say no without over-explaining. You share your real opinion, even if it might not be popular. You might still feel a flicker of guilt, sometimes a small voice asking, "Am I being selfish?" That flicker is normal. It's just the old pattern trying to reassert itself. It doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. If any of this sounds familiar, nothing is wrong with you. This isn't coldness. It isn't arrogance. It's one of the clearest signs that your sense of self is finally coming from inside you instead of from everyone around you. This shift usually shows up at turning points after a hard breakup, after leaving a toxic environment, after simply getting tired of shrinking. It's not the end of caring about people. It's the beginning of caring about yourself too. A few things help build this further. First, when you catch yourself worrying about someone's opinion, pause and ask, will this matter to me in 5 years? Most of the time, the honest answer is no. Second, practice small acts of honesty. A real opinion here, a polite no there. Confidence isn't built in one big leap. It's built in these small, repeated moments. The real difference between not caring and not caring in a healthy way comes down to this healthy version says I still care about people. I just stopped outsourcing my worth to them. Unhealthy version says nothing anyone thinks matters at all. If you've felt this shift, you're not becoming cold, you're becoming free. If this described exactly what you've been feeling lately, let me know in the comments. And if you want more breakdowns like this on psychology, self-worth, and quiet shifts nobody explains, subscribe, because we're just getting started.